It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day in this neighborhood here in the LPL. It's OMG and WE taking us back to back with series. You wanted action, you've got action. Complaining for. This is Clement Chu, my name's Jacob Zipanko. We're jumping into the next series in full. OMG taking on WE. This is the pick ban, and I see a Yorick Clement, I see a Silas ban, and I see more richness from these rich history organizations.
This is all I wanted from an OMG versus WE matchup. We're getting an assassin play from Icon as the last pick right there, and we also have the hyper carry from WE's sides. So basically fast-paced action, good lane counters coming out from OMG against the basically tried and true strategy of WE.
This is the debut in the LPL of Xiyang for 2019. It has been Ale, it has been the rookie who joined that rookie roster or the high school lineup you saw before. So it's Xiyang on the Yorick. What a way to re-enter the LPL.
Yeah, and I think W might have forgot about the pick because we haven't seen Xiyang in so long. His first game in the 2019, he's been a veteran player on this squad for so long. He was actually one of the top solo kill top laners in the LPL in the spring and summer splits. He really does play those tank champions very well and is able to get kills on them.
And hopefully we're going to see a rendition when we go to Team WE Stadium. We always see it in the flyover. It is so poggers right there. Let's get into game number one. OMG established in 2012. WE in 2011. Two rich organizations hopefully going to give us a rich best-of-3 series. Now, you should be expecting WE to be behind them. It is, of course, in Xiyang, in WE's home venue. And the crowd, I heard a BLG. I'm not sure why. Maybe, you know, one of the favorite anime series.
Oh, people just love BLG overall. Don't you love a team that has two beers colliding onto each other as a logo?
What
a fun-loving team.
That's exactly right. Pretty standard keystones here. Of course, Conquerors into the Yorick. But Yorick has more been the response. We saw a lot of Yorick when we saw Frostmancy in the top lane, which again has been hotfixed.
So not really a case this time around. I do like the adaptations of WE's draft. The worst scenario of a WE draft is, Magic going in level 2.
Early action is what we asked for. Icon probably going to have to burn a flash. No, actually holds onto it. Very smart there from Icon, but he loses half his health and he's going to have to use 2 corrupting potions.
Good use of magic, but this isn't a fight that he can actually win, even if he gets the stun down first. So he needs to be very careful. Probably is banking on the fact that Missing can arrive on the scene earlier than him, trying to punish Olaf without a leash. And I actually think OMG walk away pretty fine with it. They control their buffs still. They don't burn any flashes to the level 2 gank of Camille.
Both junglers trying to make impact in that bottom lane. You can see starting on the top side of the map, blue buff there for best 16. Walks all the way down to his red as he finally clears it away. Magic starting at red, comes down to the bottom side and looked for that gank in the mid lane. Maybe looking more at the bottom lane. That's 50-50. That's
the Colonel can't decide.
Now, Clement, we didn't get a chance to talk, and maybe we won't again. 5. Unbreakable is up. Second skin doesn't proc all the way through, but talk a little bit about these compositions here. You know, we did mention Xiyang in the top lane and how volatile that could truly be, but it's Icon versus Xiye. This is a mid lane matchup that has history behind it.
Yeah, it's one for the ages. Both of them capable of coming out on big plays. Icon, LeBlanc always one of his best champions. The best play of 2018, 1v4 on the LeBlanc pick. Yeah. And for OMG, their win condition with Xiyang and Icon has always been outplays coming in from the solo lanes. If the lanes don't go well, then OMG typically does collapse like we saw in the TOP series. They're a very front-loaded team in terms of how they look at their strong phases. They like to win early, they like to snowball that, and that has typically been their win condition. They don't look at team compositions as heavily as other teams do. Now WE on the flip side, I think they're completely different. But we might have to talk about it later.
The binding lands onto Xiye, who'll be locked on down. Doesn't have ulti. Glacial Path will get him out. No summoners burnt again. Both mid laners feeling the pressure.
Oh, they know that the key matchup in the early game has to be this mid lane. Nobody wants to see Icon ahead on an assassin. Xiye, while not having the best of games so far, we know what he's capable of. So I like WE's idea of starting him up earlier. Now, Xiye did actually sit out a couple of games in the split so far, but what he's been best known for when Magic is on the roster are those early level 2 ganks. Magic had one of the highest first blood percentages in 2018 along with Xiye, and they're looking to continue that duo.
It's kind of interesting as well because best 16 is the fresh jungler here. Magic coming up towards the top side of the map. Post going to enact what the duo was before. Xiyang is level 5, has not hit 6 with the Maiden, flashes out immediately. The Rage Cage is down, and Post just has to knock it away and walk away at that.
That's one of the most defining interactions between the Urgot and the Yorick. When the Urgot uses the Purge, he cannot get out of Dark Procession. So you could see great use on Xiyang right there, holds it until the Urgot comes in, another gank coming in.
Predator being procced out, missing, will go back with the heroic entrance, or rather the grand entrance, and just walks away. Olaf trying to get in these lanes as well. Different responses across the map. Magic's coming to the mid lane. Icon misses out with the chain. Doesn't know that the jungler's here. Magic is level 4, so there's no Hextech ultimatum, but Xiye is low. Best 16 coming into the mid lane as well. Getting tense once more, the undertow doesn't land, and Magic still looking for a hook shot in.
I thought jungler was a position where you're not supposed to see them on the map that often. They're basically showing up as frequently as laners at this point. Just both of them really trying very hard to snowball their laners. And I really think it's OMG kind of driving the tempo in this. This is the style that they like to play in.
Are you okay there, Clover?
Yeah, just it's just a tear in my eye watching Xiyang come back and watching OMG blossom. The OMG, their historical problem is that they never had a top-tier jungler. That's kind of the trouble for them in the Icon and Xiyang era, is that they could never really link up their successes of their solo lanes and build that into a cohesive game plan. I feel like that's why they're trying out best 16 a lot more. When they had Jeko and when they had World 6, those two junglers, they were, I would say, middle of the pack, and they were never super aggressive. They were never high on the ganking stats.
Especially with the hype around World 6 as well at the time.
Yeah, so. But best 6, a different player and a different strategy. You can see right here, there's already 3 or 4 visits into the mid lane. He's much more proactive on the map, and that's why he's starting over the rest of the jungler roster by OMG.
Well, for Xiyang in his debut game, a lot about the Yorick top, who's built-in Ninja Tab Bio in his first back, actually ahead 10 CS at the moment, and you saw Maiden is out and ready. Now, a lot of Yorick players will just pull out this ulti straight away to help push the wave and spawn ghouls on command.
It's absolutely hilarious. You use the Morning Mist and try to get the Urgot into a trade. And once the Urgot tries to use the Purge, you just lock him up in Dark Procession, and the Maiden hits him from outside of range. Yeah. That's how the trade works. We've seen it a number of times, and typically what the Urgot can only do after post level 6 is just get the color. It's like, I can't actually 1v1 the Yorick anymore. He's gonna have to find other utility aspects for his pick.
It's good to draft this lane for OMG. Focus maybe more away from Icon, who's been a volatile lane himself. You can see that Xiye is just roaming away, finding a little land onto Xiye, looking for the outplay ability there from Icon. He gets the Thunderbolt, but it doesn't do too much right now. Icicle's doing a lot more here from Xiye, who doesn't really have a change in item. Double Dark Seal picked up for Icon.
Yep. I really like how Icon traded with that. Did dodge out on the Ring of Frost, so the Keystone is not able to be procced for Lissandra.
Yep.
And that's one of the key factors of the trade. It's that Lissandra just has so much survivability, so you really need to get out of her hard crowd control to really trade back into this matchup.
At this point, especially since that crowd control is down quite easily when you're going up in the 1v1. Hang on, maybe the bottom lane, the 2v2 instead. Missing gets the knock up. 5 blocks them down when the ulti to ignite is there. Will a flash come out? Chelly survives, but flashes over. Someone is burnt for both bottom laners. Looks like WE won the trade.
Yeah, really ballsy play from Chelly right there, flashing into the brush just to get vision and make sure you can get the stun onto Mystic. However, Magic was in place.
Icon locked on down, Cleanse is there. Double Icicle again. Icon will survive with the blue buff. Xiye is full health, but no mana. This is a trade-off here. Mana versus health. in the mid lane while the Dragon was contested, but Magic stopped.
I'm just surprised no one has fallen down so far. There's been so many fights. This might be it.
Vibe has to burn the flash, but for what? Winter's Bite will land. Best 16 coming in, double man under toe. The collapse here from OMG. Hextech automated, but Magic is burning down fast. One more auto, but it's blocked away. No Mystic shot. Mystic has the ulti available. Mystic will not take it. And Mystic will not re-engage, but Chelly, Arcane Shift, will he do it? Yes, he will. Gets the first proc, but not the second. OMG are chasing this down. Best 16 does not have Predator, so it'll stay a 0 kill game for now.
This has to be the most damage dealt to champions before a first blood ever in LPL. I've never seen so many fights resulting in everyone staying alive at the same time. Good on WE to keep their early game intact. That's the biggest thing that we've seen missing from them for a very, very long time. I'm glad with their scaling composition in the Kaisa, they're able to pull it out.
I think we're seeing a replay of the top side of the crab. Literally doing the crab. Actually stopped by the Rage Cage.
Yeah, we've seen this play from Sword as well in the LCK, Griffin's team. There's just not a lot of things the Urgot can do in the matchup. It's considered a very one-sided affair when you have the Yorick against the Urgot.
That's just so annoying as well. I did not know that was a mechanic. It makes sense though, to just spliced off the cage. Okay. New lesson learned. So stopping the teleport there as well means that WE, they lose quite a lot in the end in that bottom lane. A lot of summoners down. Magic kept his flash. And Mystic didn't end up burning his, but Mystic will not be able to force that level 6 engage with the quickness.
This comp is, I wanted to say that this comp is one of WE's best comps so far in this split. They do have the late game hyper carry potential of Mystic, but what they've front loaded in their game composition is a lot of early playmaking potential.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of chances that they can dig themselves out of bad situations, and they can also contest in the mid game. That's typically the problem with WE. The worst side of WE is that they play like a living fossil from the Ard Sensor meta. A lot of times they go like, maybe the bot lane's the only one that matters.
Well, that fossil Clement is putting up a pretty good fight. You know, you don't have to put it in a retirement home yet. Give it a chance. Maybe you can tend the garden or something. But anyway, for xiye in the mid lane, he's just making sure he gets out with the glacial path before that chain comes down and lands. Best 16. What a challenge on this Olaf. This thing will get out again. Heroic entrance all the way out. Grand entrance, rather. I don't know why, I always get those confused.
So much action happening across the board. OMG, they don't really have the lockdown crowd control to convert any of this, and WE, kind of the same thing. They want to find a pickoff, but every single time, Best 16 has been able to shadow Magic quite well. I'm really impressed by his jungling so far, and it's negating all plays from WE's side.
It's the newer players that are actually making such a big name this split in the LPL. Of course, Best 16 no further away from being one of those names. So, securing the Dragon by himself, that's a Cloud on an Olaf. Maybe we need that Cloud right now, Icon. Bit of movement speed to get him out. He
goes
jumps back in. xiye still has the lockdown available, but not in the ulti. He comes right on in. That's the Yorick, ready to stack on down. The Morning Mist, boy, it's fresh, it's good. A 1-for-1 trade with First Blood going over to Magic. Xiyang can't follow up anymore as Post has roamed all the way down. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Mystic gets the 2v2 against Chelly.
Oh, I want to see how that bot lane happened, but talking about the mid lane, it definitely went in the advantage of the WE squad, right? Actually, wait a minute. They trade off both mid laners, so both of them are pretty even at this point. I want to see where the kills went on to. No kills onto the LeBlanc, so at least they can still keep that matchup in check.
True. And speaking of the bottom lane kills there, I believe 5 was roaming up to the mid lane to help with the play. Left Chelly by himself, and ipso facto, that's what happened. Missing will actually get jumped on here as well, so with the Manamune now picked up, big moments, however, with the Yorick has the 1v2, Xiyang in a lot of trouble, fear beyond death. When he gets Magic, will die himself, but that's the power of Yorick Mori, baby.
Yorick with the sustain and the auto attack reset, he already had the Sheen in place. That was actually only the damage from Maiden.
Clement, there's more blood. Glacial Path, you can't stun him though, so he's all the way out. But now I know Yorick's full name, I know it in full, Clement. I'm feeling it.
We heard the reason. Oh, wait a minute.
Best 16's here again. Icon thrown down, so Mystic is dead. Will they get missing? They found the undertow, forcing the flash. OMG, my lord. Their name stands for, oh my god, for a good reason.
Just so much action. This is the OMG that I wanted to see. Remember, OMG is the team that put aggression into the LPL profile. This is how they played to start their career. Super fast, trading between towers, always looking to keep the action alive. And they're just utilizing plays with Best so well. All of these plays have that Olaf in them. So they're moving around with him very well, they're collapsing with him very well, and it's just so tiring mentally for W to play a scaling up game, especially in the bot side. They always have to think about what the potential play is going to come in from OMG.
When Best 16 is always one step ahead of you, it's annoying as a jungler to just find that Olaf. He's mid, he's bot. What is going on? Dragon's gone. Right now, Magic getting out-jungled, and even right here, running all the way in, Rift Herald, who did it go to? It went over to the side of WE, Missing picks it up, and they get out. Okay, close call. One that OMG almost came close to stealing.
Yeah, good play from WE right here, and I also like the way that they swapped up their lanes, took the Herald as well. So they're actually going to equalize the tower loss onto the bot side, get a little bit more time for Mystic to really farm up. Mystic, like we were very much like Puff, main damage dealer of his team, hovering around 30+% as well.
We're going to see this 1v1 again. I think we might. Glacier path in the wrong direction. Icon tries to outplay it. Ulti popped on down. Chain as well. Xiye has been bursted. Both super low. The auto attack. Corrupting Potion does it. Fear beyond death with the help of the Void Seeker will get him. But OMG keep getting these trade kills after trade kills. And hopefully Rift Herald will break the tension.
All right, I got to give that victory to Icon over there. I know in terms of assists, W won out on that trade. It was great snipe on the end, but essentially, he played out what was close to a 1v3 in a counter matchup and got a kill on Xiye. That's impressive.
That's impressive, you're right. Icon is known for his impressive plays. OMG, 2012, they've had 7 years to work on this. But in all seriousness, okay, I guess we're not going to look at the replay because we're going to look at Chelly. They're like, oh, Chelly might be in trouble.
I feel you, Mr. Observer. I would have wanted to watch that again.
Quickness locked up, actually locking back in. 5 jumps in just to die. He'll drop down the Glacial Fissure, but I don't think this is the right call. He has to flash all the way out. Best 16's coming in. This Olaf has himself the Cinderhulk, ready to tank it up, but no mana. Predator is being procced and doesn't get interrupted. WE running away underneath this turret, missing around the side. He's not here. Icon, AoE damage. Mystic is down. Magic, hook shot into wall shot. Ignite is dropped down. 3, 2, 1. Goodbye. Another kill for Icon, who's now 4-2-1.
Oh my god, and this is going to turn into the Icon show once more. It's absolutely terrifying with him running around the map. We know what he can do with this champion, and great play on 5 as well, keeping himself alive as long as possible. That was a 4v2 situation that they were able to turn around, so a massive shift in terms of the map control.
And Best 16 is at the heart of it all here, Clement. Best 16 is always one step ahead, even in the situations where WE start up these fights. Another turret goes down, more gold in the back pocket of OMG, and we're going to watch how Mystic started this fight that turned back around.
Excuse me, it was a 3v1 to start off, but a very good team fight composition coming in from WE. They're able to get all the crowd control down. It looks like 5 has nowhere to run, but look at the map. Icon is incoming. He's almost caught up. Best right now is basically waiting for his Stalker's Smite to really come up with the slow. Gets only Mystic, but that's enough to slow down the team. Icon goes in, great damage, and just gimme, gimme, gimme.
OMG do not look disjointed here, which is arguably what you could have said about some of the other series we've seen so far. No inconsistency so far in this game either, so good signs here from OMG. WE putting up a fight, and they're still being proactive themselves. The LPL, their strength, their split is huge. Mystic, if that chain connected, Icon would be saying bye. But we have to be careful and keep track of this LeBlanc.
Definitely is the case. The thing about Icon, we've seen it in so many games, is that assassins do eventually fall off. And that's kind of how OMG does lose most of their games. They might have great laning phases, but when it comes to the team fight, they're not always able to utilize their fed members and get those key pickups. So WE, they're actually still very close in the game. Pre-20 minutes, only 3K down at the moment. As long as they can avoid Icon or maybe keep him on a side lane, they can still continue to scale.
Icon's going to be farming up now as well. That scaling continues, as you said. So important to note as well that Chelly on the Ezreal has an Iceborne Gauntlet and the Manamune. Now actually has his magical footwear. Someone we have forgotten about because he's just been farming away as well is Xiyang, who looks like it will be the Sterix Gage coming second. I would like to see a ZZ Rot, just as a side note. If you play solo queue Yorick, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And we've also seen some of the top laners go for the Titanic Hydra as well, just to push a little bit faster. Now, we do have to remember that Yorick changes that you can bring Maiden into the other lanes with you, or you could leave her in the lane like you did before. So there's a lot of opportunities for map plays and for it to generally be swapped around a lot. The main thing to remember is, however, OMG, they are going for the 1-3-1 composition. W is going to be the one to have to find the picks to slow that down. On the other hand, if OMG do get a mismatch somewhere on the map, they can actually quickly transition to Yorick to take down towers as well.
Okay, but if the Yorick can't get forward, never mind. I don't care about whatever I was going to say. Magic's half health. This LeBlanc is almost 2 items. Icon level 13, same as xiye. That's so annoying.
It definitely is. There's nothing you can really do in this Urgot matchup as well. So the question is, W, do they actually have enough time to really get Mystic in the game? I really have sympathy for WE fans. This is basically what they have to sit through in every single series.
Well, not the EDG series, Clement.
Oh, here's a Maiden play. You can take her around now.
Yeah, that's right. A lot more control. Doesn't leave her in a side lane. Xiyang is ready to fight. Missing just takes that chunk from a chain. 5 adds with the Winter's Bite. Here comes True Shot Barrage, missing run. Atta boy. Alright, WE holding the mid lane turret down. They don't want to let it break. With a 3k gold lead, OMG will expand over this map. Baron's up as well as another Cloud coming shortly. WE just trying to push this out, but look at OMG, their ability to engage. Rapid decision. It's very easy.
It's also the same case for W as well. So if they can coordinate a catch between the hit squad of Magic and xiye, they can buy themselves a little bit more time. I think that's the main play that we're going to have to be looking for. If they don't get any picks and it goes straight into a Baron situation, I feel like OMG has such a massive advantage.
I would consider this game to be definitely in the favor of OMG, not just because of the gold lead, but because right now you haven't really seen Xiyang in a 5v5 fight. A lot of people consider Yorick to be, oh, he just sits in the side lane, he never joins the fight. But Yorick in a team fight is disgusting. I've used that word too much. Yorick in a team fight is putrid. It can really be dangerous. You lock someone down with a cage, the Maiden has at it.
If you have a poking composition, if you have a composition with range, then Yorick isn't that much of a trouble. He doesn't have any gap closers. His slow is very inconsequential. And you can also just take his Maiden out of the fight. He loses most of his damage.
True.
But with W's composition, if you look at it, it's a ton of engage and not a lot of disengage. So they find themselves in a 5v5. This is actually a very good teamfight scenario for Xiyang. Yorick has that sustain. He's going to be wailing on people the entire 30 seconds of a teamfight. So, you know, I don't think the Yorick teamfight weakness really applies to this composition.
Yeah, it's definitely a come-at-me composition if you're WE, and both OMG alike if you're the Yorick. So, Sterix Gage now picked up for the Yorick. 2 items strong. Redemption Olaf for best 16, of course, being the way now. For that early game, for the prowess of having that sustainable heal and, I guess, disengage potential, threatening potential. But now more just about the supportive factor. WE sitting in a side brush here, Clement. Waits for them meet.
Picks we're talking about.
Oh, missing didn't connect. Does Magic, he does. And takes the cultivate him in the backside. 4-man knock up, but Mystic's already taken him down. OMG collapsed on, and no one else is there to follow through. WE wait patiently and find their pick. Where are they going now?
And there's been so many 5v3s that have gone wrong, but W have to take their opportunity here. They don't want to go back to the situation of a 1-3-1. What can Icon make happen in this situation?
Redemption will spot them out. A bit of damage, but Icon goes into 5. Baron at 8k HP. Xiyang coming around the side. The Maiden's still there. They lock down Magic. The Maiden's going in. That's not what you want if you're Xiyang. The Maiden might be targeted. Glacier Path not taken. Maiden's still alive, but Xiyang is doing nothing here. His ulti's down. He can't get into the fight. WE are getting low, however. Xiyang doing damage. Baron at 1k. It goes over to the Olaf. It's stolen by OMG. maiden or not, OMG know exactly what they're doing when they're doing it. WE get obliterated.
Oh, and WE, they actually had a good chance right there, but what happened is Mystic took so much damage close to the Baron. We saw rotation from WE's front line, trying to go forward, make sure that Yorick couldn't get into the team fight correctly. Lissandra was out of the pit, Pose was out of the pit for a while, we had Missing walkout for a while, and all the time, Mystic just kept on tanking Baron, so the pressure really getting to them. And once again, this is the third 3v5 that we've seen go into the favor of the team with less members.
And WE just looked so concaved in that pit. Icon had the time of his life. This LeBlanc is making magic happen here, Clement.
And
when people ask,
16.
you know, when people ask, do you believe in magic, Clement? I don't think they're talking about the player. They might be talking about Icon if they're talking specifically about this series.
They definitely are, because Icon's making it happen. Best 16 also putting the dagger into the heart of WE. 1-3-1 with Baron buff and a fed LeBlanc is what WE do have to contend with. And let's watch that fight again. It's a really good start from WE. We were talking about they needed a catch before it went straight into the Baron fight, and they do find it great. Great warding position. Does catch the back coming out. We can see the pings going down. They know it's a 3v4 situation. Everyone comes into the fight, and they pick up 2 kills right here. This should have been the start of a good Baron fight, but let's just watch that again. Watch how low Mystic actually is. Icon did not actually go into the pit. Mystic is just starting off the fight like that. A great Chelly true shot barrage. Tags the entire team on the backside as well. Doing a Zhangwuji impression with the emoji as well.
It was clean. The Ezreal, LeBlanc, Olaf, it was just clean all around, Clement. Chelly, 3 items. And now you're like, all right, we're at 26 minutes in the game. That's how much the True Shot Barrage is doing. Hit 3 members and almost half health them. OMG with Baron can just walk up to this inhibitor turret. And the Colonel agrees as well.
No damage reduction now for the True Shot Barrage on extra targets. It goes through, so massive damage on that. You can easily get 3k, 5k damage in the late game team fight. And W are really hanging by the ropes.
WE just trying to defend their turrets. Icon can walk up, especially at this point. Baron just does so much work. So does the damage of Icon. Xiye is forced away. That means mid lane turret because you're playing a 4v5. That means the inhibitor as well, most likely.
We see the teleport coming down. I think it's from Xiye. He's going to try and find the pincer with the home guards. Does have to pick his targets now. Chelly does still have his flash.
Oh, Righteous Glory spot by Pose. They want the flank here. WE, their last fight potentially. They find 5. The support's going to die. Fear beyond death. Hits 2, but WE, the chokehold is not where they want to be. AoE damage from Icon, from Chelly. Best 16's having the time of his life, and that's the cleanup crew. Add another quadrant to the mix. It's OMG with the game-winning fight.
And OMG did that with a 4v5 situation. So grouped up, so many targets in one location. 5 able to close out the entire gap with just the Glacial Fissure, and Chelly, with his fast, stays alive throughout the entire team fight.
That was a clean finish from OMG. Dangerous fights that amount to WE just walking into the wrong position. And Icon definitely had his LeBlanc game that we were looking for.
OMG, this is the cleanest game that we've seen them play all split long. Great team fighting, super high action. The pacing of this game was incredible. They forced early game plays throughout the entire early laning phase. You can see back and forth between best 16. And what I really liked about it is that they kept the action going at all times. A lot of times when OMG gets the leads in their solo lanes, there's gaps in the action, they slow down, they let the enemy team scale up, but not this time. Always on the ball, always looking for the place.
And Icon doing the most damage there, of course. Chelly following up, but Xiyang, he might have only done 6k, but he was just pushing that side lane. So no matter how that fight went in the end, OMG had that side lane control, and it was always going to be Xiyang getting objectives off the back of it.
I don't blame WE for this one. I feel like you get that one game quota where you forget what Xiyang plays because nobody really knows. But Obviously, next time around, they have to avoid that matchup.
Ban Yorick, yeah. Well, so top lane was very volatile. Laning phase didn't really come into it. Both laners respecting each other. It was Icon and xiye that was really the volatile matchup, going at it and almost killing each other about 5 times that game.
The top side of the map really lacked damage. They had a lot of crowd control, but they couldn't finish off on any of the kills. I actually felt like W had a lot of good plays, but Best 16 was always there to negate all of the advantages that they had, and that's why he's a starting jungler for OMG. Brand new team, great look.
One play. That's what it took. One play to get them in control, know what they're doing. The following team fight then just turned around in a 4v5. OMG start off game 1 very, very nicely. We'll find out if they can do it again against WE after this.